Hi there, you might have noticed I've got a slightly different appearance today, and the reason is that I'm getting recognised on the street more and more, and it's becoming quite embarrassing now. I was out a couple of weeks ago and we were with quite a famous guy around Preston. He can't cover his face up when he's working. So consequently, we were in a club and he had a cap on covering his face, which obviously made him stand out even more. It was pitch black and he'd got a cap on and it was like 2 o'clock in the morning or something. So I thought, well, Baz, you know, sometimes it's snowing outside and you're going to look silly with a cap and sunglasses and it's raining. So if I wear these in my videos, then I can just go out as I normally am and nobody will recognise me. So there you go. That's it. The EV people will have switched off now. So we can get rid of them. It's quite funny really, because if you don't like EVs, they don't like you. And actually, I do like EVs, but they think I don't. But they don't like you. So therefore, they take every opportunity to pick on your haircut, if you're getting fat, if you look old, you look tired, just your clothes, jackets. And I got a funny one the other day, which made me really laugh. Whoever told you that jacket looks good, whoever told you that jacket looks good on you is not your friend. Now, I've had it for 20 odd years, I think. When I first got it, it looked good on me, but I've been unable to wear it out. EV people never miss an opportunity to try and put you down. So, it does make me laugh. But this week I've been really busy doing other things and I've not had time to do as many videos as I wanted. But I saw this headline and I couldn't help but take the bait. It's from our friend Colin Walker from the Climate Intelligence. Sorry, it always gets stuck in my throat, that. The Climate Intelligence Unit. Charging your car overnight costs less than a coffee. Research finds. But how good a researcher do you have to be? Oh, by the way, I'm an affiliate for Octopus Energy. I'll put a link in the description. They do great tariffs for people who have EVs, cheap charging overnight. Now, that being said, Baz, that's a bit hypocritical of you, because you wouldn't charge an EV overnight at your house. No, I wouldn't. Would I advise you to? I'd have to have all sorts of fire alarms, honestly, in the car. I don't see why there isn't a klaxon on EVs when the battery gets to a temperature. Why doesn't it start ringing? Why don't it alert everybody? Get out, abandon ship, get out your house. I'm just about to explode. Why don't it do that? Because it must know. It knows the temperature of the battery. It has a battery conditioning monitor. It balances them all. It must know. Well, no, it definitely knows. And do you know how I know it definitely knows? Because if we just go to the auction today, here we go. We find another IEV in the auction. Nissan Leaf, 40 kilowatt, 64,331 miles, one owner. It's a grade 1, so obviously beautiful condition, needs nothing. But we go along and we see Battery Health X. Battery Health X, click on Battery Health X. X is below 50. A's 90 to 100, X is below 50. Now they do this Avilou flash test. And a flash test is a quick test. That's what it means, flash. Instead of calling it the Avilou test that means absolutely nothing, they call it a flash test. Because unless the battery's under load and you've run it and so on, you can't tell where it's going from full to empty and how long it's taking. and how many kilowatts per mile or whatever these people measure it in. So we go to view report. View report, flash test report, and you'll notice state of charge 94%. Avilou score, big red exclamation mark. High voltage battery performance, warning, analysis of cell voltages and module temperatures failed. For details, see page 2. So we go to page 2. High cell spread detected. This indicates a defective or heavily unbalanced cell. We'll go again, just so you don't think it's me. Oh. A large voltage difference between the best performing and worst performing cells. Why is it dangerous? Thermal runaway risk. We all know what thermal runaway is like, don't we? Reduced range and so on. So basically it's dangerous. And it's in the auction, another one in the auction. And if I remember rightly, if we go back to the notes here, you see, the trouble with people like, say, car supermarkets, these people have to feed the beast. They have to keep buying. They have to. They have to have loads of stock. It has to be coming in all the time. Keep everybody busy. Salesman, workshop, valeters, the photographer, the guy who puts it on all on Auto Trader. It's all got to be busy, and it's got to be like a funnel. Sales going out, cars coming in. Additional information. No V5, buyer to apply. That's all it says. It doesn't say anything else anywhere. So all you see there, and it's like I say with these write-offs on Auto Trader, the write-off bit is smaller than the banner they put on to notify the customer that they think it's too dear. Now, they think it's too dear, so you shouldn't pay as much for a good car, but you can buy a Cat S EV structural damage that could incinerate your family at any time. They say, the studies show that after accident damage, a battery can set on fire up to 6 months after the accident. They don't put on it, Cat S, warning, your family could be burnt alive while you're charging it outside because this is a Cat S, it's got structural damage, and we don't know whether the integrity of the battery has been affected. That's not too important here. Grade 1, bright green, there. Now that X there is smaller than that 1. Why would that be? I think it should be. I think that should be here, all over it, because that could be a problem. Anyway, forget about that. Right, that's enough about that. We go on about EV fires. Oh, hang on a second. What? When I say we go on about EV fires, Car and Driver, Hyundai recalls a handful of 2025 Palisade SUVs due to fire risk. So a handful. The recall involves a faulty electronic oil pump. No, I'm sorry, but EVs don't have consumables like oil. We know that because they're cheaper to service. They don't need oil changes or oil filters or stuff like that. The recall involves a faulty electronic oil pump that could short circuit, but it only affects 620 copies of the mid-size 3-row SUV. One question springs to mind. How many people do you know have 620 fingers? You don't know anybody who's got 620 fingers, because I don't. How many Hyundai Palisades would you expect Hyundai to sell it in a year? I've sat in one of these. If it's the same car I was sat in, it's lovely. It really is. It's a nice car. Nothing against it. But please don't tell me that EVs don't catch fire, because when they do, there's all hell to pay. Here we go. The electric oil pump, EOP, used in the subject vehicles may have been produced with insufficient hermetic sealing on the controller housing due to damaged tooling. An insufficient seal could allow moisture ingress and contamination on the controller PCB, increasing the risk of electrical shorting and subsequent thermal damage. Thermal damage to the EOP controller circuitry can increase the risk of vehicle fire if unaddressed. Identification of any warning that can occur. Burning or melting odour. Oh, and an illumination of a malfunction indicator light. Again, why isn't there a klaxon? Why isn't there an alarm going off? Why isn't it the car drawing somebody's attention to the fact that it's just about to blow up? Get out of here. So what should you do? Because it's only a handful of vehicles. Owners can continue driving these vehicles. However, Hyundai recommends parking their vehicle outside and away from structures until the recall remedy is completed. What about charging your car at home for less than the price of a cup of coffee? Doesn't sound so good now, does it? How many coffees would you need to buy so that you can stay awake while your Hyundai Palisade or your ordinary EV is charging? Be cheaper to buy a petrol, wouldn't it? Starbucks. I got a blonde roast latte this morning. Blimey, robbing bastards. £4.50, £4.50, £4.50, £4.75. I don't know. No, they must have forgotten to knock my own cup off there. I drink coffee like it's going out of fashion. So for me, it would be cheaper to have a petrol car or a diesel car than sit up all night drinking Starbucks to make sure my EV's not catching fire. So you saw his tweet. This is my reply to him. How much money has this guy saved? Of course, it costs more in the amount of coffee you need to drink in order to stay awake and make sure your EV doesn't spontaneously combust and incinerate your house and your family when it's charging. And this is the pictures from the fire down south the other day. There you go. 2 cars and a van and all the front of his house incinerated. Do you think he can get all that fixed for less than the price of a cup of coffee? I mean, for instance, who was in this bedroom here that looks like it's gutted? Here's another question. Do you think they'll be in the 92% of people who will never go back to a nice car once they've had an EV? Because I don't. I've got a funny feeling if that guy wants an EV, his wife's going to say, no. No. It's just, I mean, it's just stupid. It's just absolutely stupid. But there you go. So a handful, don't forget, if you see a guy with 620 fingers on each hand, it's Eric Stafford from Car and Driver, who published this on May the 9th, 2025. It'll be easy to spot. Talk about playing stuff down. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video. Bye bye.